From a young age, I just kind of grew up around it with my dad heavily being involved in off-road in the 80s and early 90s, building a lot of Class 8 trucks and pre-runners, and eventually building the first couple trophy trucks. We just had posters and pictures all over the shop, and we used to have VHS tapes of all the old races, and I'd pop in the VHS tapes being a kid and watch them, and I was absolutely in love. Like everything off-road, I couldn't get enough of it. One of the first races I went to was a core off-road race, I believe, in 1999 in Kansas. It was a mud fest. I went to that race and just absolutely fell in love with it. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And being 4 years old, I remember telling myself, like, one day I'm gonna be an off-road racer.
Well, growing up in the Midwest, all you saw was magazines and all the cool stuff was in California. So the day I turned 19, I got on a plane and came to California to try and find a team, and I ended up walking into Cal Wells' shop and talked them into letting me sweep the floor, and I ended up staying for a year and learned quite a bit. They were awesome people to give me my first shot. It was sort of culture shock from where I came from, because we had cool stuff, but it was different forms of racing. To see off-road and to go to Mexico for your first time and see what vehicles actually could do, it was really amazing, and it's an instant hook, and once you're into off-road, you're staying.
My dad has helped me tremendously. He's taught me so much about what I know about prepping a car, designing a car, engineering everything from shock absorbers to suspension geometry, and he's been a huge part of getting me where I am.
Well, you know, every dad thinks their kid's gonna be somebody, but you know, Carson was patient. He put in his time, he worked really hard. Kawasaki came out with that car that's really a nice platform, solid car. I mean, I recommend it to anybody, but to have Carson in a good car, surrounded by good people. Reed Nordine, longtime friend, showed up to help and be a teacher to Carson for the desert. You know, Goodrich Tires, I've been with them since '83 when I worked at Toyota. If you have the right components and the right people, and you can make a driver comfortable and confident in what he's doing, it's easy to have a good day.
In off-road racing, I would say shocks and tires are what makes an off-road car a winning car or a losing car. And BF Goodrich is forever had the best off-road tire. If you look way back to the 70s, 80s, through the 90s, and then 2000s even till now, they've always just dominated. The fact that BF Goodrich has joined the UTV community and came out with a line of tires from the KR2s, the KM3s. They have such a long history of developing tires that have won countless Baja championships and wins in that trophy truck category, and put that technology and information and years of learning, which is priceless, into a UTV tire. That's one thing that really separates them from the competition.
Tires are everything. It's something that means the world to the race car. It makes it handle, it makes it do all the right things, but it's something that as a driver, you don't want to ever have to worry about. And the tires are not on your mind while you're driving that car. And that's a huge thing. And to have a company like Goodrich, who puts so much into development and helps their teams, it's awesome. It's great. I mean, I worked real hard for a lot of years, but it gives me more joy to see my kid do it than when I do it.
One of my dad's golden rules from a little kid was if you're going to be an off-road racer, you have to have the money to do it, yourself and you got to build it yourself. I remember being 7, 8 years old and it was like trophy carts first came out. And I was like, I gotta drive one of these things. And that's exactly what he told me. He's like, if you want to drive one of those, you gotta build it yourself. And maybe as a 7-year-old kid, I'm like, how am I gonna do that? But looking back on it, I'm glad he made me do that, because I spent through my teenage years and even early 20s just sharpening my pencil, learning how to TIG weld, learning how to fabricate stuff, and basic design of building a strong car. When you know that you're the one that built the whole car, that made the cage, made the arms, and you're the one that goes out and valves the shocks and does the testing and knows what I changed in there. When I see stuff coming, I know exactly what the car is going to do already by how I set it up. But at the end of the day, you just got to go for it and fall on your face a couple times and touch the fire to know it's hot, and that's how you learn. 2021 was the first Mint 400 I competed in, and watching videos and hearing people talk, I kind of knew what to expect, but until you go out there, you really don't know. It's a tough race, and there's a lot of gotchas out there. There's a lot of stuff that'll sneak up on you. It's dusty. You got to make sure that your car is absolutely prepped to the nines and it is 100% ready. If there's any questionable parts, you will not make it to the finish line. My goal for this Mint this year is to go out there and win the Pro NA class. Last year we were close. We had a fast car. Lap 2 I got a little impatient and pulled out of the dust and stuffed it in a ditch and flipped over the car, and we sat upside down for a little bit. But to still go through that, get the car flipped over, all the tires intact, and make it to the finish line, passing people and finish second still, those are the days you remember.
I'd put it up there with the top of most anything I've done. I mean, winning the Baja 1000 overall was really cool, but honestly, every race we win, it's a family deal. It's awesome. But the Mint's gonna be special. The Mint 400 just brings out everybody from everywhere as far as the competition goes. Just the atmosphere is something that no other races I've been to have brought to the table. I mean, going down Fremont Street and seeing all the people and all the vendors and being in the middle of Vegas with race cars up and down the street is just the coolest thing that you've ever seen. I think if I'm a little mature of a driver this year and have a little more practice, we'll be looking for that top of the podium, and I'm pretty confident we'll be there.